Today in Inside Bikes, we're in Milton Keynes and we're riding Suzuki's new Avenis scooter. Now we love scooters on Inside Bikes because they bring cheap transport to the masses, and at $2,699, this competitively priced Avenis is one of 3 Suzukis to hit the market this year. In a way, it's kind of difficult to review scooters like this. It's a bit like reviewing your washing machine in some ways. It does exactly what it's meant to do without getting you really excited and fired up. But what it does do, it does incredibly competently. Now you look at it and you might think it's a competitor for the likes of the Yamaha NMAX and the Honda PCX 125, bikes we've reviewed and loved here on Inside Bikes. But actually it's priced quite a bit below. It's almost $1,000 lower than those bikes. It's more priced alongside some of the more established Chinese brands in the market. So the opportunity to get a really established brand like Suzuki at Chinese bike prices sounds pretty good to me. And what you've got is a really nice looking machine. This comes in 2 color options. This green and silver I think looks pretty smart. It's pretty futuristic. The engine is pretty basic. It's an air-cooled single cylinder, makes about 9 brake horsepower, so quite a bit below the A1 license maximum. But it's a well-proven power plant. Although it's new here to the UK, actually they've been selling these across the world for many years. It's made in India and they've made about 5 million of them over the years, so it's a well-proven power plant. The equipment level is quite basic, but what you get, it works well enough. Seat, nicely plush, very comfortable. Got a nice digital dashboard, has things like a fuel consumption readout on it. Suspension's basic, but adequate. You've got small wheels, 12-inch at the front, 10-inch at the rear, shod with Dunlop tyres. What that gives you, and this is true of all scooters with small wheels, it gives you a tremendous agility. Although sometimes the stability maybe isn't quite as good as it is on the bigger wheeled scooters that are out there. Riding it, it's very easy to ride. Suzuki give it what they call their easy start option. To be honest, there's not many motorcycles today that are difficult to start, but you just press a button, it fires up, whisper quiet, away from the lights, it's fantastic, pulls really well, gets a bit breathless about 50 miles per hour, but we've seen about 60 on the clock, so if you do have to do short blasts on a dual carriageway, it's okay. One of the great things about scooters, you've got that under-seat storage. Not as big on the Avenis as it is on some scooters because you've got the fuel tank at the back, but it's still over 20 litres of capacity, so it's good for a couple of bags of shopping, small bags of shopping, maybe a crash helmet, and you do have some hooks that you can put bags on as well. Nice touch, there's a little USB charging port in there, so if you want to charge your mobile phone on the go, you can do that. And there's a little glove box as well, which I think is really handy again for putting change and your phone in when you're on the go. The brakes work absolutely fine. You know, there's no bells and whistles about them. There's no ABS on it. It doesn't have to have them. They're linked brakes, a drum at the rear. They bring it up to a halt fairly competently without being aggressive or too sharp. And that kind of sums up what this scooter's about. It's a really easygoing appliance. It's one of those things, if you're looking for a cheap form of transport to get you around, you can't go far wrong with it. You know, my kid's going to be 17 soon and he's going to be looking for some transport to get him to college. And this is exactly the sort of thing that we need to get people on 2 wheels. It's inexpensive. It's got the backup of a trusted brand like Suzuki and their dealer network. And I'd rather that they're riding this than some sort of obscure brand or, you know, some old second-hand beaten up old bike. Cheap to buy, should also be cheap to run. Suzuki claim over 140 miles to the gallon using the standardized method that all the manufacturers use. In the real world, you should be getting easily over 100 miles to gallon, probably more like 120 I would think. And that's going to give you, with the 5-litre fuel tank, that's going to give you at least 100 miles, but probably more like 150 miles before you need to think about filling up. The Avenis is kind of the sportier model of the 3. It's got a bit extra spec over the address, things like the parking brake it's got there, it's got a better dashboard on it, little fly screen on it, but fundamentally same bike underneath. We had a chance to ride the address as well. They ride pretty much exactly the same, and really good solid motorcycles that I think play a really important part in getting the country moving, getting people on two wheels. It's interesting that Suzuki say they're not really targeting that courier market, the guys that are delivering the takeaways with this. They're aiming it more at commuters, and I think that's the right thing for them to be doing. But if most of your riding's on the back roads or in town, actually this delivers more than enough performance. It does make a lot of sense, this scooter. It's inexpensive to buy, inexpensive to run, and overall, really good job, Suzuki.